It's Friday. It's 2 o'clock. That means it's time for the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on your hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. John, what's going on?
Doug, you seem a little down today.
Yeah, you know.
What else is new? I mean, you're right. It's got to be difficult for you.
Why?
Well, I mean, how do you expect your political party to lead when they can't find a leader?
Ouch.
Right? Am I wrong?
Ouch.
I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I'm torn, John. I know what you mean because obviously with McCarthy backing out the last minute.
Kevin McCarthy, Kevin, right?
Kevin, right.
Yeah.
Bakersfield.
Not Paul or...
No, that's McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
This is McCarthy.
McCarthy of Bakersfield backs out of the running at the last minute.
Leaves everything in disarray. But the only thing that I'm happy about that is I don't think was a man for the job. I don't know who is.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Great.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
You know, we could always hire, maybe we could hire somebody outside.
John, you're a lawyer, right? I didn't know this.
At times.
Maybe you took civics at school?
I took civics.
The Speaker of the House.
You didn't take civics?
Yeah.
You didn't take civics?
It was a long time. I did, yeah. But I don't remember this. The Speaker of the House.
Was it pre-revolution?
The Speaker of the House does not have to be in Congress. Were you aware of that?
Yes, I was aware of that.
Yeah.
Which is why they should hire, Mitt Romney or somebody?
No.
Hillary Clinton is the Speaker of the House. Donald Trump? Come on.
Think
about it. They hired Donald Trump. He can't ruin the Republican Party by winning their nomination and losing to Hillary.
They should get the guy that used to have the job.
Tip O'Neill? He's dead.
No. I can't think of his name.
I have a story about Tip O'Neill. I actually met him once. I was a security guard. I'm going to get arrested for this probably, but I was a security guard at the Capitol Center in Washington, D.C., and he was there as a big Boston College basketball fan, and they were playing Georgetown, and my job was to make sure nobody sat anywhere near him, and he pulls out a bottle of Bushmills and starts drinking the bottle of Bushmills while watching the basketball game.
Tip O'Neill did this?
And I'm thinking, I should take that away. You can't bring alcohol into a game like that. You bring glass into Dodger Stadium. They're going to arrest you, right? And I'm thinking...
So you didn't do anything?
I didn't do anything. I didn't want to get deported. But he could come back. I think you'd make a good Speaker of the House.
Yeah, right.
You'd be a great Speaker.
Why can't I think of his name? The Speaker of the House, Contract with America.
Newt Gingrich?
Yeah, Newt Gingrich. Bring him back.
All right, so we have a really good show today. We got a lot of stuff going on. Really bring Newt Gingrich back?
That's what they're talking about, at least on a temporary basis.
But why are we not electing people to Congress who could lead?
I agree. The problem is there's not a consensus in the Congress to vote on one.
So we can't, as a ruling party,
the vote's going to be diluted.
As a ruling party, the Republicans can't get together to pick somebody that they would actually like to have rule them, but they're going to rule us.
It's not a pretty sight.
Anybody else feel confident and comfortable with that?
Not me.
I don't. All right. We do have a good show, so
it'll all work out in the end.
We got a lot of stuff going on. It'll all work out until Russia and China invade us.
Yeah.
We can talk to Rob about all that.
Yeah, we got to talk to Rob.
We've got our Green Beret coming up. That's always fun. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clara's hometown station. We'll be back after this.
We are back, everybody, on the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette. We're on every Friday from 2 to 3 on your hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. Hey, John, I was watching Fox News because that's all I ever watch.
Yeah.
Somebody said, hey, you know what? The world is on fire right now. They didn't mean literally.
Well, we have a fireman we could call.
Yeah.
We have a fireman. We have a fireman on the line. We have Robert Patrick Lewis. Not only are you our national correspondent, Mr. Lewis, you're now the world's fireman.
Fireman.
That was Doug. I don't know.
It was an analogy that when you look at the whole world, it's on fire one way or another. As far
I thought you meant I need to start working on my six-pack so I can get pictures for a calendar.
Okay, I just kind of got moving on. So let me help you with that six-pack. We'll turn it into a case.
Rob, it seems to me that we're like the embarrassment of the world. I mean, we got Russia just kicking sand in our face. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And that's when you talk about stratego global politics, that's kind of the whole point, right? When we talk about nuclear deterrence theory, it's, the whole reason we have so many nukes is so that the other countries, we just won't attack each other. But, in spite of physical violence, we can still give each other a bunch of black eyes by, kind of spin each other's face in a public forum like Russia's doing to us right now.
Well, yeah, but, okay. Russia's coming back to the scene, right? I mean, for...
Some people would say they never left.
Are you one of those people? Because I got arguments with that one.
I'm just so I take in as many different ideas as I can, and some of them have no merit, and some of them have a little merit, and some of them just really make you think. And that was one thing that I read a few years ago, was that the whole idea that the Soviet Union even collapsed was an idea put in place by the KGB so that America would take its eyes off of Russia and then do something like, I don't know, get involved in a two-front war and have all its assets allocated other places, while Russia rebuilt its armament and came back stronger than ever.
Okay, I don't like you anymore, Rob.
Again, just a theory.
I'm just gonna sit in the corner and rock quietly back and forth. Okay.
Well, we don't have to get worried until they do something like attack in theaters where we have a policy that hasn't worked, or I don't know.
Wait, isn't that what's happening now?
Oh yeah, geez, I guess you're right.
Yeah, thanks. So besides your compound, where else can we move?
That's the scary thing. ICBMs, they don't really have to get close to you. And that's the thing. I had a friend in town, and that was one of the arguments we had the other night, was, just how advanced the technology is and what the difference is in things like targeting technology, which is, it's the huge point when it comes down to missiles and fighters and bombers and aircraft carriers. It all comes down to targeting. And so the guy was really, really arguing, well, we can hit within a 4-foot radius and Russia can only hit within a 5-mile radius. And I went, yeah, but you know what? They have so many that it doesn't matter. When you can blanket the entire country with strategically placed IBMs, a half mile apart from each other, you don't have to be that accurate.
Yeah, but okay, so, oh man, let's go back for a little bit. All right, let's assume that it's not at a KGB plot. Let's go. They did kind of remove themselves from the stage, and I think what happened is the world kind of passed by a little bit, and then they've caught up, because it seems to me they're more of a global economic force than they were before the Cold War, even during the Cold War. Mm-hmm. It took them a while to become geoeconomically involved. Now it seems like they realized, hey, wait a minute, when we come back stronger, bigger, faster, we got to be a major player in the money markets. And I think that's kind of what the difference is between the two Cold Wars, really. And it's that I think is one of those things that you sit there and you go, they're coming back. We're going to have to fight them on two fronts in theory. It's no longer just a Cold War. Yeah, it's not just a Cold War. Now it's an economic war.
So you're thinking that their motives for what they're doing now is economically motivated?
They're divvying up their piece of the pie. They're divvying up their piece of the pie. We kicked them in the teeth. We won the Cold War, and they're like, all right, well, if we come back, we're not going to let you. What's the one theory about the Cold War, Rob? You know this. That let's just increase defense spending, and we'll spend them into oblivion, right?
Right.
We kind of did that. They're not going to let us do it again.
And the downside about when we look at it, before I say this, I've got a caveat that I'm one of the most capitalistic people that anybody will ever meet. I wholeheartedly love our capitalistic society, or what it's supposed to be. In reality, we're not that capitalistic because we have subsidies and bailouts and things like that. But to go head-to-head with Russia in terms of economic actions, when it's a communist society that doesn't have to pay the people that make their output very much, the state can determine how much they're going to pay, worker Kalashnikov to make widget A, B, and C. They are at a severe advantage. Now, it's because they don't have as much income of that, but, on the other side of China, one of China's big issues is they have no resources. Russia has energy.
Yeah.
Russia has a lot of energy. They have a lot of money that comes in from that, so... They can dictate their labor costs.
All those gas pipes to Eastern Europe. They turn off that spigot.
Yeah, well, that's what they did with, was it Ukraine or Georgia, where they literally just shut off the gas. They went, no more energy for you guys. Yeah. And they can do that because they have a they're not really voted into office. It's a communistic society. They can do whatever they want.
But let me ask you this. Do you think that Putin has, Hitler might be the wrong comparison, but a Hitler-like mentality with his conquering, his wanting to reach out, the Ukraine and now Syria? I mean, what is his motivation?
I think he's very cognizant of the Russian mentality.
Yeah.
The Russian mentality is all about power.
Right.
We're kind of, the U.S., we have, for lack of a better term, wimpified our society, right? We're a bunch of Obamas running around that have no spine and no backbone. Russia has taken the exact opposite account, where they drink vodka and kill bears in the woods with their bare hands. Right, so he's very cognizant of that idea, And it might not even be a real belief on his part that we need to, that they need to run around and be this machismo-induced kind of, spitting in everybody's face mentality. But he knows his people support that, especially when there's a tough economy in the world and people start getting a little bit more angry. And, the peasants will have more of a tendency to rise when it's harder to put food on their plate. They will be a lot less likely to do something like that and enact any kind of anger when they think they're the toughest kids on the block.
All right, so Rob, let me ask you a question. I'm going to interrupt Doug for a second. Have you ever killed a bear in the woods with your bare hands?
No, but it's on the bucket list.
Okay, I was just asking because I know you went through a lot of secret training. You could have told me, off the record.
If folks,
so my friend, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. This is the Gazette Radio Hour. Doug and John. We're talking to Robert Patrick Lewis, author, Green Beret, businessman,
world fireman.
Yeah, him. Go ahead, Rob.
So I was going to say a good friend of mine, Ray Nell, was actually just in town. Speaking of killing bears in the woods, he just did a ride for an organization called Heroes for Horses that takes combat veterans that are having issues with PTSD or some other kind of reintegration issue, teaches them how to ride, and actually takes them out on a week-long horse ride through the backcountry, not on the outskirts of town, but through the actual backcountry. He just rode from Colorado to Wyoming, to Manhattan, Wyoming, and dropped off a couple of horses and a couple of $100,000 that he had raised.
Wow.
National Geographic they wrote some articles on it, and they're about to release on their TV channel a documentary they filmed about him.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really proud of that guy, and they're doing a lot of good for a really good organization.
Yeah, that's the other thing that aggravates me about this whole thing is while you, Doug, and I can sit here and geopoliticize all we want, we kind of forget that there's actually people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's, again, it is kind of, it all depends on where you're looking at it. The Russian ideology is we're all just kind of pawns in this big game, and in America we like to believe we're all snowflakes, but we forget that at the level of, the administration or Obama or whatever, we're just kind of pawns no matter what country we're in.
Right.
And it's an unfortunate way to look at war and different kinds of strategies that really can impact that many lives.
Hey, Rob, I'd like to change the subject to talk about your favorite person, Hillary Clinton. Have you heard of her?
God, yeah.
I think she'd make a great Speaker of the House.
Oh, man.
But is there any chance, Rob, that she will get indicted and end up doing jail time?
Oh, come on.
That is... I had a very long conversation with my buddy Ray while he was in town, and that's something that we both, unfortunately, feel that we truly do not have a representative democracy like we think we do. And just, if that were untrue, and if the system worked the way that most Americans believe it worked, would she still even be in the running? With this many scandals, with this many hard evidence things, so I know a lot of people that have been involved in some of these scandals, and they just say she's a horrible person. It's proof positive. She's not even denying that this stuff actually happened. Benghazi, we know this stuff is true. All these email problems, the 2 months worth of emails that she just forgot to turn in, all these different things, she doesn't even deny it's not true, and yet she is still a major contender for president. Right?
Okay.
So what else do you need?
So then, but Robert, so then who? Then who?
Who what?
I honestly think Watson, the IBM computer, would do a better job than any of the candidates we have.
Although I do like his commercials with Bob Dylan. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
But what gets me is General Petraeus was convicted on a lot less than Hillary. Is that not right?
Yeah.
So
well,
what is it? Is it the Attorney General that's calling the shots on this, or is she waiting for the FBI to get back to her? I mean, what's going on?
I just think that she believes she's untouchable, and we have proven her right. I mean, she has been untouchable for everything that she's ever done. Her and Bill. Bill was he was brought up in an impeachment trial, right? And now he's thought of as the Democratic savior. They bring him out for fundraising. Everybody loves him. The entire country hated him at the end of his presidency.
All right, now you're not going to like this because I'm going to say, wait a minute here, okay? First of all, the email scandal, okay? Unfortunately, what we get caught up on is, it was top secret. Rob, there's different determinations of what constitutes top secret, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
I got
in
a
this
but.
particular instance, it's determined not by the FBI, not by the NSA. It's determined by the State Department. And who was in charge of the State Department at the time? Everybody? Hillary. Now,
and that's what makes it even scarier.
I was going to say that while that exonerates her a little bit, okay, because she didn't violate the law per se, so she's not going to get indicted.
Wait a minute.
But hang on, let me finish my thought.
The law.
No.
Just having her work emails on just having those work emails on a non-secure server is illegal.
Is illegal, but
it doesn't matter if they were red side, green side. It does not matter. Having them on a server, non-secured, that part is illegal.
And that's not jail time.
Correct. But the scariest thing about that, and I think the point that everybody's overshadowing is, in her position, she had the authority to classify or declassify information. And the fact that she is saying she couldn't tell information that could possibly be deemed classifiable and still, oh, well, no, it's not classified. The fact that she had that title and couldn't tell the difference and look at something and go, this is on the verge. This is something that might be incompetent.
And you went exactly where I was going to go. While it may not be illegal, she's not going to get indicted. She's not going to do jail time. What it does call into question, and I think if I were a Republican candidate, I don't think I would push for jail time. I wouldn't push to be indicted. But she was in charge of keeping the secrets. You got the person who's in charge going, "Oh, I don't know what's a secret or not." I did not have sexual relations with that server. That type of stuff. Although that could be a Tiger Woods comment, too. Oh, thank you. I'll be here all week.
I wish more people would make that argument, and that it is a very black and white. Is she a liar, or is she completely incompetent?
And I think I go. It's more of the incompetence because of the entitlement.
Yeah. Yes,
that's the argument that people don't seem to be making out of all this, and that's what infuriates me. Is it's like she's going to go to jail. I mean, Bill Clinton lied in a deposition. He lied under oath in a deposition. He's Teflon. Okay? Be Teflon, but be honest. And she can't be either. And I think that's going to be the downfall. And then we'll be stuck with Bernie Sanders.
All right, I want to change another subject here, Rob. By the way, folks, you're listening to the Gazette Radio Hour. We're talking to Robert Patrick Lewis on AM-1220 KHTS. Robert, the Republicans think the sky is falling because of the Speaker of the House situation. What's your take on it?
Honestly, if I was in the current political environment, would you want that job either?
Not
you know what I mean?
Close.
And that was the thing. A lot of papers are making a big point about McCarthy having his kids and having his family in the room when everybody thought he was going to think he declined the position. Well, I think having his family there was probably kind of a showing, like a nod to, I don't want to have these people dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate state is being a politician. You're not, no matter how good you are, there are going to be lobbyist organizations and other special interest groups that are going to spend millions of dollars just trying to discredit you as a person, not your ability to do your job, but you as a person. And that involves your family, involves your background, anybody involved with you. And you know what? Kudos to him, because I wouldn't want to put my kids through that either. And I guarantee I got more skeletons than that guy.
Yeah. Although I do think Hillary would make a great Speaker of the House.
She would make a really good, I'm not going to say that. We'll show up in my room.
But Rob,
she could work in the coat room. Is that what you're saying?
Do you think it's detrimental to the party? I mean, is it the end of the world, like a lot of pundits are saying? Just politically speaking.
It discredits, right? So it makes us look incapable. It shows all this bickering and party infighting, and the idea that the left hand isn't talking to the right hand. And I don't mean left and right politically, but I mean that our party is completely divided. And that's the thing, the Tea Party and this, the kind of libertarian movement with Rand Paul and everything has scared an awful lot of the conservative base, and they don't know what to do. And instead of unifying and finding a way to meet in the middle, they're fighting each other and fracturing, and it makes it look even worse.
How can they govern if they can't find? How can they lead if they can't find a leader?
House divided against itself cannot stand.
Hey, that's a pretty good quote. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I know. That's
Rob Lewis. I'm going to quote you on that. Is that all right?
But
Copyright that?
to be honest, I'm a little torn because I'm a Tea Party type guy.
And a teetotaler.
Yeah.
And I really, I am ecstatic that Boehner's leaving. And while I wasn't thrilled with McCarthy, I mean, I think he was a step in the right direction. But I would like to see a Tea Party guy get in. But I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how one guy now is going to get the votes needed.
The liberal press has done such a horrible job of defining and destroying anybody who associates himself with the Tea Party that they don't quite get it anymore. It's not.
Well, and so the guy being pushed right now is Paul Ryan, who, I mean, I think it's at least a step in the right direction. But that was one of McCarthy's things that he was saying is strategically he knew there was no way he'd get the votes to secure the Speaker of the House. And at this point, I don't think anybody could. But to play devil's advocate, we do. The conservative side does the same thing every time the liberals try to put somebody up. Every time the left tries to put somebody up for any position, we fight it tooth and nail. And it's become politics as a game instead of an actual job or trying to do the right thing for the country now. Now it's one of these, it's like the War of the Roses with an ex-wife and an ex-husband that they don't care what the other says. They're just going to just disagree with it no matter what. Yeah. And that's where we're at. And it's unfortunate because it's making a mockery of our entire system.
Newt Gingrich coming back.
Oh, good God. We're the painkillers.
So what do you think's going to happen, Rob? Any guesses?
I have no idea. Somebody's going to come up and somebody's going to have to get pushed through. They obviously need somebody to fill that slot. We don't want Boehner to stick around. But, that is politics, is you have to make a lot of concessions. And with the 24-hour news cycle and with people already on edge because despite what the administration says, the economy is not doing well, the job market is not doing well. People are on edge, and so people are going to fight a lot more when they're on edge, and they're going to hold their politicians a lot more to a higher standard of accountability. And I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's going to be a stalemate. I don't know who's a good option. Maybe Paul Ryan is, because at least we know he has some fiscal sense behind him. Yeah. But I heard somebody say Mitt Romney,
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, they don't have to actually be in Congress, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
That's new to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. According to Doug, I will verify that after the show.
Yeah, please do, because they've been talking about it.
But I think, of course, people are on edge, Rob. I mean, my gosh, there's a KGB conspiracy. Russia's. It's your fault everybody's on edge, Robert.
Hey, Rob, next week I want to have you back on because I want to talk about this debt ceiling thing and the government shutdown, which I think people make the government shutdown a big deal when it's not.
I want to talk to him about his screenplay and the part that I have in his movie.
It actually so the first version, the first draft is finished. So now we're polishing it up. So it could become a reality very soon.
I just want to be an extra. I can be killed very early on.
Well, so the guy who is being wooed to play me happens to be on my girlfriend's top 5 list. And I would just say that he's a sexy man, if I do say so myself. So it looks pretty good.
I'm sorry, I can't do it, Rob. I'm busy. All right, Robert Patrick Lewis, national correspondent for us, author, all-around great guy. You're coming back next week, I hope.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. You're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We are back with, I got a guest next, don't we?
You do?
We do.
You got your own, wow.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back after this.